came from the board to talk about this evening, whether they want to hold an orientation/retreat, and if so, when. So we'll just open this up. This is really a discussion among the board as to what your pleasure is.
If I could interject a little bit here. You know, the board has kind of taken on a variety of formats over the years, and I almost personally see 3 different things going on here. Goal setting, orientation, and retreat. Now, I think we're all in agreement that we will have a time in June where we will be meeting and beginning our goal setting. Orientation and retreat. Now, the last time the board held an orientation was 2 years ago, Karen, when you came on the board, and we had a more formal orientation that was held with IASB at the time. Now, with the fact that we have Gina, a new board member, I know I've inquired as to whether or not you're going to be going to any of the IASB workshops, because I do think the board needs to have a sense as to how it can best facilitate orientation when new board members come on, on board. So I know, Karen, you didn't have an opportunity to attend those workshops, so having the IASB representative here conducting the board orientation as such was probably the best thing we could do at the time. Gina, I don't know if you're planning on going to those workshops. If you are, it may not need to have a formal orientation. Okay. So,
well, I was present for the last orientation, just so you know, when I was in the audience, and I know I have it on tape. I actually was thinking of going in Springfield in August. Although I don't know if I can do the full 3-day. I may just be able to do the 2-day. I don't know if that would work or not.
Okay. So would it be the board's sense that the full board would need to go through an orientation, or not this time? Because we did it last time when Karen came on, we all went through, so we really need to know what the board's sense is. Karen, I know how you feel because you and I have already had this conversation. So. Anybody? Any need for the orientation, or no? Okay, Gina, then if we could just leave it between you and Mark and myself, just so we kind of know what's going on in terms of new board member, to make sure we're meeting your needs. So if there's something we don't have or you need, let us know.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
The other topic of a retreat, again, you know, Karen and I had some conversations as we worked with the self-evaluation and stuff, to talk about whether or not the board has a need to truly conduct itself at a retreat. I can think back to one time on a Saturday when we had kind of a combination retreat goal setting where we did some of those activities to try to bring more unity to the board, and then we went into our goal setting sessions. So again, it's really just a sense of the board. I know some of the publications recently that have come out from school board associations and journals and such have talked about retreats, all of them talking about the boards taking ownership, having president, superintendent work on agendas and such. So again, the question is, does the board feel that it wants to pursue any type of retreat? And then Karen, you had some comments when you and I had talked. Do you want to share any of it?
Well, basically, I guess to qualify as a retreat, typically it had to be more than 1 day. And that certainly the key to having a successful retreat is to have everyone in on the agenda and setting the goals and kind of the structure. So, I mean, it's a big commitment, and it's basically up to you guys what I thought it was not a bad idea to try to build better relations amongst the board, but it's entirely up to you guys. Maybe we go through the goal setting, have how we do that every year, a few hours of that, and kind of decide after that, see how that goes. I don't know.
It almost seems could even be 2 separate items. We could have a retreat more for, just kind of talking about what an ideal board should be operating like, maybe kind of policies, procedures, whatnot, bonding, whatever. And then the goal setting would be something separate where we would specifically talk just about the board goals, as opposed to more generalities for the retreat.
Does anybody else have a sense on a board retreat? Favorable, unfavorable?
Have you guys been through it? So, I mean, you could give comments on your experience.
I've been to all kinds.
I've been to all.
What's your take on it? I mean, I've not been through it. What do you
We've
think?
had some that were, IASB run, we've had some that were
Oh, those weren't really
consultants.
retreats,
We've
though.
had, we had some that were.
Well, we brought outside
Others
experts in to
we
kind of
had-
head up the
That we
whole
have
thing.
We've
facilitators, yeah.
had mediators kind of come in.
And and I don't think those work as a retreat because those don't create what you just said, which was the bonding. They create more of a, that person stands up there and says, here's your rules. And it's like, okay,
Right.
if I wanted to have rules, I'd go to court so I kind of go along with what Karen said, and that is let's get together and do the goals, and then we can figure out, in my opinion, whether a retreat's necessary afterwards. I mean, you're talking about, when we did those on Saturdays in the past, they were done in spring and earlier. You're now going, we've now moved all this into the summer months, and I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't feel like I've been home since the middle of March. So, and I know yourself as well, and it's like, to now say, well, let's take, if you're identifying you need a couple of days to do this, it's like,
That's the thing.
I know,
It's a
but and if
commitment.
you're doing it, it's like, that's a huge commitment. And I would say, let's go through our goals, identify, okay, do we have issues? If we do,
If
then maybe
days go
address
out
them
at that
during the
point, it might
come
retreat,
out then,
as
yeah.
opposed to saying, well, we have issues, so let's have a retreat,
Yeah.
Right.
So this could be something that we maybe don't make any decisions on tonight, but it's just food for thought. And as we continue, perhaps even as our goal setting, something will come out of there. And if the board has a sense, one way or the other, as to if they want to pursue this, I just think we need to make our intentions known so that we can go ahead and follow through on it. So, okay? Okay. And that would be it for that one.
So that being said, are we, I know it doesn't say that on there, it says orientation retreat, but we actually gonna pick a day in June?
That's for goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
goal
this is for goal
setting.
setting.
It's
This is
currently on the
separate.
June regular agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wait till the third Wednesday of June to set a day in the following week and a half of June.
I'm not following.
What's the date of the goal setting?
Well, we wanna have the
setting.
goals in place before the school year, which starts the middle of August. So if you're gonna wait till the third week of June to pick a goal setting, and typically those have required, one day of goal setting, another day of refinement, you're talking about, a pretty busy July.
In addition, the goal setting separate from the June meeting.
Right.
No,
It always-
I mean, we've done this different ways, but just to get everybody on the same page, I think the last couple of years, the discussion about goals for the subsequent year started in June, refined in July, and approved in August. So you've got not just,
I don't recall us doing it during a board meeting.
No,
No,
we
we had
usually
it
did it the
Sunday.
day before.
The night before, and then if we-
Well, that's why I'm
It's
saying,
been done.
well, that's what I'm saying, so you'd almost wanna, for as long as I've been on the board, it's always been separate, but I'm fine with it maybe being different 6 years ago.
We had
What
it
I'm
was carried over, we
suggesting,
needed to-
certainly what I'm suggesting is that if we're gonna do it in June,
We need to set.
we
need
don't
to set
wait
that
until
date.
the third Wednesday in June to set the
set
date
it.
in June, because then you're only down to a week and a half to choose
Are
from.
we doing it the night before the June one?
Well, we need to talk about, I can't, I got a commitment on the 13th. Or I think it's the 14th, that Tuesday before. I am not.
It's the 14th.
Because if not, you're looking at, okay, you wait till June, you set it in July, now you don't firm them up until August, but the school year has started.
Could we, Mark, could we just send something out in terms of board availability and see if we can come up with a mutually agreed upon date? Because obviously I don't have a
14th, I
calendar to
can't
look
do.
at.
The 15th
So-
of June is the next meeting, that's the third Wednesday.
Okay.
But it's nice, there are actually 5 Wednesdays in a month. So, if we want to do.
All right, if you can make a note for maybe this Friday packet, or the next Friday packet to the board, to ask for board availability.
so, I mean, is everybody on the same page here that the June meeting is, if, I'm just anticipating the scheduling issues, the June meeting is not a heavy agenda meeting typically, and that could be,
We could try and.
We might be able to do it that day.
After.
Well, it's
I mean,
just for safety.
It seems, right, because it seems to me that that meeting alone in the past has always gone about 3 hours. And when we used to do it on Saturdays, it was 4 hours. So you're talking about, even if it's,
Saturday.
exactly, so if you're talking about, even though it's a light agenda, you're saying, well, let's plan on a 7 to midnight type meeting. I'm suggesting no.
No, and I wasn't envisioning that, but as I mentioned,